What's up, y'all? It's Otaku Tavern back at you with another video. Hope everybody is doing well tonight or today, wherever it is you're from. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, click the bell notification so that you do not miss a video. Also, if there's anything you guys want me to kind of elaborate on or talk about, feel free to, drop that in the comments or the live chat. Doesn't really matter to me, I don't guess. Yeah, so we're gonna get into this. Hey, how is it going? How's it going, Reverend? Hope you're doing all right, man. Okay. Oh, hey, Rosa. Hey, Rosa. So yeah, we're going to get into this. So this one may be sort of long. Like I said, after this, there's only one more part to this. And then I have ran out of X's. These last two parts may be sort of long. Sorry for not being around the last few streams, man. Yeah, I haven't seen you on Discord either. Hope you're doing alright, man. If you want to talk, man, I can talk. Anyway, so... Okay, no, let's... But, yeah, so the first person the first woman that I want to talk about in this video... this woman I met on, MySpace, right? Now, I don't know if anybody here remembers MySpace. You might, I don't know. But MySpace was before Facebook, okay? In my personal opinion, it was a billion times better. Billion. It had a lot to do with music, all that good stuff, right? It's very music oriented. You could actually even listen to music on there. You could like put music on your profile. You could tag other people in music, right? Well, anyway, this was back in my emo days, and I would pretty much add like every like hot emo chick that I could find, right? And so I added this one girl. She was, gosh, dude, she was something else. Oh crap, that's too far. She was very nice. I think that she probably is probably one of the, how do I say this? Probably one of the less severe situations going on here. But anyways, so this girl I added, she went by the name on MySpace Envy, right? And in this girl's picture, she had like long black hair. She had her ears were pierced. She also had like black skinny jeans on, and the tank top was like pink, and it was some artist. I honestly do not remember the artist, I'm going to refer to this woman as her MySpace name, Envy, because I do not even remember her like first name, the name that she told me. I don't even remember this, but I'm gonna call her Envy for the sake of the video. So anyway, you know, me and this Envy, we started talking and stuff. You know, this girl was, gosh, dude, she was pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I was like 14 at the time, and you know, we would talk on there and stuff, and we would talk a lot, man. Like, you know, we would tag each other in good bands and stuff, and all that stuff, right? And so that was pretty cool. But you know, we got to like talking, and then you know, we kind of started playing a game. I don't know if anybody remembers this. It was a game on the web browser called Pokemon Creator. I was really big into that when I was like really young, till like someone took my stuff or whatever. But like it was fun while it lasted, obviously, and you know, like I mean, we didn't really play it all a lot, like all the time, but you know, we there was also other games I played back then, like Club Penguin, you know, stuff like that. Club Penguin was really good. You know, I remember that, man. That game actually got shut down, though, I believe. But I think I remember seeing that. But anyway, like, you know, me and this girl, we would sit there and talk and stuff. I mean, we would just chat it up like all the time. Like anytime I could get on a computer, I would get on it. Like, 'cause I didn't own a computer at that time. You know, the only family computer we had was one of the like the 90s type computers at the time, and you couldn't load up MySpace on it, so yeah, you had to have a pretty good desktop to load up MySpace. But anyway, I would go to like the public library, or me and my friend would like talk, you know, the one I've talked about before. I went over there and used to play games and stuff, and I've told some stories and story time about them. Now I'd go to his house, and you know, we'd sit there and play some games and just chat, and you know, I'd be on the computer as well, just talking to her and all that stuff. And like, man, dude, I'm not gonna lie, man, I got attached to this chick, bro. Like, she was so nice, man. Like, now for the reference, I don't know if this woman like cheated on me per se. As far as this one goes, I don't know. I think it's a possibility. There's reasons why I believe that, but I'm not going to say that 100% foolproof she did, because I did not have 100% proof. So I will not be talking about that aspect in this. But anyway, so I remember, you know, just doing all this stuff and whatnot, and just talking with her, and you know, it was really fun, man. Like, I remember back in the day, it's like MySpace was like, gosh, dude, it was so good, man. Like, I don't even know if it's a thing anymore, man. And if it is, it probably doesn't have like a lot of people on it or whatever anymore. Like, 'cause I mean, that right there, bro, that was the golden age, man. Like, but anyway, so me and this girl, we'd talk about like the bands and stuff, like I said, and you know, we'd talk about like some other things, and you know, I didn't really like ever get to meet this girl in person. Like, she was in another state. I believe it might have been, it was either Texas, New Jersey, or Georgia, I believe. Now, don't quote me on that. I don't remember, but I want to say that it was either Texas or New Jersey. Anyway, so, you know, we would chat stuff, and you know, we got to talking about like some really like deep stuff on there, which was very good conversations. I mean, you know, I had a lot of good conversations with that girl, I won't lie. I'm not really going to crap on her really all that much, but one thing I did notice about her is her, you know, she, how do I say this? You know, I was 14 and didn't understand a lot of it, but she had this thing, right, to where she did not like me talking to like other females on MySpace or whatever. Like, she constantly wanted to like post stuff on my profile, like music or like animes or whatever, man. Like, and you know, it was really fun, bro. Like, I mean, I had a lot of good times with this girl, seriously. Like, you know, she was hella, like, how do I say this? Like, she was really down to earth, man. Like, she was like 15 at the time. Like I said, I was 14, so it's been a long time. Like, well, not necessarily a long time ago, but it's been a little while, and because I'm not a teenager no more, but anyway, so one day, you know, I remember it was 2005, and you know, we had been talking on there for, gosh, a long time, man, and like, so that was when, you know, 2005, somewhere around there, I believe. It was like, it was around the time, it was 2005 or 2006. It was when Facebook came out, but I believe that was 2005, if I remember correctly. Because I remember when that gosh forsaken social media site did come out. Because it was like, I was like, gosh, dude, I knew this was going to end bad, and I was right. But anyway, you know, this Facebook came out, and, you know, I noticed like a decrease of like people getting on MySpace. And one of them, you know, I noticed this Envy chick, she wasn't getting on MySpace as much, so I assumed she was on Facebook. And I searched for her on there. I couldn't really find her. But anyway, I sent her a message on MySpace. I was like, hey, you know, you still getting on here, bro? Like, still getting on here? And she eventually got back to me. She's like, yeah. She's like, sorry. And whatnot. And then, you know, there's a couple of weeks go by. You know, I don't hear from her again after that. And to be honest with you, like, I never heard from her again. I assume that she moved to Facebook. I don't know why she didn't necessarily... I don't know why she didn't necessarily, like, tell me and then, like, give me her details or whatever, like, to talk or whatever. I don't really know. But she pretty much ghosted me, so to say. I mean, I guess being ghosted, I guess, it sucks and it's really toxic and bad, but I would say it's probably less worse than being cheated on. But then again, if they're ghosting you, then they might actually probably be cheating. I mean, that's a possibility too. Like I said, I can't prove she cheated, so I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to say that in this video because I don't know. But, you know, I had a lot of good, like, run-ins with this chick, man. This girl was so cool, man. Like, this girl was like, gosh, dude, like, you know, I've actually thought about her through the years, you know, wondering how she's doing and whatnot. Like, because it was like, man, dude, that was like some of the best combos I've had, bro. Like, I kid you not, man. Because this girl was really... She was something, man. Like, she knew a lot of good metal bands, bro. She... It was just, man, dude, like... But, yeah, I mean, I never really heard from her again after that, and, like, I kept her on there, you know, to see if she'd come back, and, you know, I logged in, because at that point, I did make a Facebook, and I kind of was on there a little bit, like, I didn't really get involved with Facebook too much, I just didn't like it, I really still don't, but, like, you know, she, like, I remember I got on there, like, logged back in a few months, I was like, man, I wonder if that girl messaged me back or something. Nah, bro, it said she wasn't online for months, dude. Like, she's been offline for months. Hadn't posted anything in months. So, like, I mean, I don't... At least I'm assuming she ghosted. I really pray, like, she didn't, like, pass away or anything. Like I said, I don't know. She didn't really strike me as the toxic type. Like, cause, like, you know, like I said, I spent quite a lot of time talking to this person, you know, getting to know them. And, whatnot and stuff, but like, yeah, man, like it was strange how it ended. I will say that, you know, because I dated this girl for, gosh, quite a while, bro. Like, because I met her when I just turned 14, and like I was like, by the time that occurred, I was like almost, I would say, a quarter into being 15 at the time. So, you know, we talked for quite a while, bro. Like, a little over a year. You know, I spoke with her on MySpace around that, like, and it's like, dang, man, like, you know, I wonder what happened to her, bro. Like, I mean, I really hope and pray she didn't pass away, because, like, I don't really wish that on anybody, obviously, but, dang, dude, but, like, I remember at the time, man, I actually got kind of depressed about it, because, like, I was bummed, man. Like, I was so bummed. I was like, gosh, dude. I was like, that girl was so damn cool, man. Like, it was, I don't know, man. It just sucked that, like, I didn't have her to talk to anymore, man. Because I don't know, man. I was just able to. We was just able to really. We just really clicked, man. Like, and it's like, I don't know, bro. It just sucks. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much that story. I don't really have a lot to say about that. But anyway, so I guess I'll go on to the next one. So this next one that I want to talk about, honestly, I am going to, like, probably not. I don't really have anything good to say about this girl, so I'm just not going to really comment on a lot of things for the sake of the YouTube and the video. But this next girl, her name was Breauna, and I met her when I was 17. Either 17 or 19. I believe it was 17 though. If I believe it was. Yeah, actually, yes, it was 17 because I had my old cat. So yeah, okay, I was correct. So yeah, it was when I was 17, and you know, this girl, she was like emo too. I hate it when people like that ghost you like that when connected. I mean, like I said, dude, I'm just assuming she ghosted. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, you know, I've actually wondered if she ghosted or if she actually just passed away, man. Like, I don't know which one it is, dude. It's one of them. But like, I really hope that it's not the passed away. I mean, I don't really wanted it to be ghosted either, but I mean, I guess that would be better than her passing, but obviously. But anyway, so as far as this Breauna chick, you know, I added her up on. Now I knew this girl somewhat. I went to school with her. Back in my old town that I grew up in, and you know, like, I always kind of really had a crush on this girl, like, I mean hardcore, man. Like I thought this girl was like super hot, dude. Like I had like the most massive crush on her. But anyway, you know, anyway, so when I was 17, I had moved to another place. I have lost all my connections. I mean, completely, overnight. Not only that, I lost the place where I liked being at the time. I lost a lot, man, at the time. And, you know, I went to a new school, and it was like, my gosh, dude, I hated it, man. Absolutely hated it. And anyway, so I added this girl when after I moved, bro. Because I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take the chance. Because, like, bro, I'll admit, I don't know why it was like this, but, like, for some odd reason, I just could not, like, I couldn't just walk up to this girl, like, at the time. I was 14 at the time. I was, like, hella shy at the time. Like, I mean, it was so bad, dude. Like, I barely would, like, if someone would say something to me in the hall, bro, like, I would just keep, like, my, like, at the time, bro, I would just keep like my Hannah Montana music in, bro. Like, I mean, I kid you not, man. Like, it was. It took me a while to break out of that, man. Like, I can't stress that enough. But anyway, so I had this girl on Facebook, man, and gosh, do I regret that. But anyway, come to find out, you know, I start talking to this woman, right? You know, we're hitting it off, man. I mean, we're hitting it off like, you know, we start talking about like times to meet, all this other stuff. You know, we would talk about like music. You know, we liked a lot of the same music at the time. You know, she was just really good to talk to at the time, and you know, she was one of the type. She was very similar to the girl that I mentioned in a previous video, Sandra from California. She was very similar to that. As a matter of fact, you know, I actually have like several songs that actually remind me of that Sandra, actually, that like mention the state of California. But anyway, this video isn't about her. But anyway, this girl really reminded me of, in a way, but this was before that I met Sandra. But what I mean is like now, like after. You know, I've been with both of them. It's, yeah. But anyway, so I'm just sitting, you know, she was like the type, wanted to fall asleep on the phone type of thing. But like, you know, every time I would like wake up, most of the time the phone would be like hung up or something. And like, you know, a lot of times when I would get home, I would wait for her to get home from school, because like I would get home from school like after I moved, like, because I went to what was called trade school, and like the bus would arrive at the school, like coming back from trade school would arrive around about 2:30, 2:40, somewhere around there, and I would just go home. Like I wasn't supposed to, but like I just went home. I was ready to go home, play some games, you know, chill out. I wanted to be home. I didn't want to be there, so I made every excuse I could to go home early. But anyway, so I would like get on the games, and like just wait for this girl to, you know, get home from school, so to say, and you know, she'd get home around about 3:15, 3:20, 3:25 sometimes pushing, but you know, and then she'd message me, be like, let me put my stuff up and then I'll call you. She'd usually call around about 3:40, 3:50, pushing 4. And we just stay on the phone all dang day, bro. Like, I mean, all day. You know, I'd be on the game or whatever it was, you know, and you know, we'd just talk about this and that, just really a whole bunch of stuff, right? You know, like I'd make her laugh a lot. All this stuff, you know, I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning it was really great. It really was. You know, I was really like, wow, you know, maybe I should have done this sooner. Maybe I should have like hit this girl up sooner and messaged her. Cause like that's how well that it was going, man. Like it was going so well. Like, you know, I was like, man, there's like no way nothing could go wrong. Like, Well, it's like, you know, I shouldn't have thought that, but anyway, I'll get to that momentarily. But anyway, so she had a friend come over one time. I think this girl's name was Miranda. Now, I'm going to be talking about a Miranda in the final video. This is not the same Miranda, by the way. The Miranda that I'm going to be talking about lived in Texas. But, anyway, so, you know, this Miranda came over and, you know, she started, like, talking to me on the phone, bro, like, because she would, like, put it on speaker, this Breauna would, she'd put it on speaker a lot of times, like, she'd, like, do some homework, or, you know, she might be listening to some music, or just doing whatever it was she was doing, right, and, you know, she, like, would have it on speaker, you know, and I didn't really mind that. It was whatever. I didn't really care. Because, I mean, this Miranda girl, she wasn't, like... How do I say this? She wasn't somebody that I disliked, so to say. Like... She was actually kind of cool, actually. Like, because she was like, you know, she was like, since you're with me, you know, you're gonna have to meet my friend Miranda. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, I don't mind, it's whatever. And you know, apparently I went to school with this Miranda too. She was apparently in the same grade as this Breauna, right? And like, you know, she how do I say this? Like, she... I'm trying to think of the word to describe her. Very outgoing. Super outgoing. So I'll leave it at that. She was super outgoing, right? And, you know, that didn't bother me, like, just that per se, but, like, I mean, she would just say the most random things that came to her mind, and, like, you know, she'd just, like, make me and this Breauna laugh and stuff, and honestly, you know, I had a great time, man. Like, you know, I won't lie, you know, it was good while it lasted, bro. But anyway, like, this this Miranda, she like started like wanting to talk to me like a lot, right? And she like asked this Breauna if she could have my number, right? And Breauna didn't want to give it to her at first, and I didn't really understand why at the time, but like, Rosa said this is getting good. It gets worse, honestly, but like, how do I say this? Hey, get out of my house, bro. Get out of my house. I'm trying to think of how I would say this. Dang. Gosh. Man. I'll tell you what. Never mind. I'm not gonna try to just figure it out. Anyway. So. I got a random text one day, right? It was just random, bro. Like, it was like, hey, yo, what's up, Luke? I was like, who the heck is this? And she's like, oh, you don't know who this is? I was like, no. And she was like, it's your friend. I was like, who exactly? And she was like, she's like, oh, come on, you remember me? And I'm like, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to be more specific. You know, she was like trying to just be real playful and stuff, right? Like, anyway, so she was like, it's Miranda, you know, the one from Breauna. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, how's it going? What's up, you know? And she's like, ah, nothing much, man. She's like, just chilling. She's like, I'm gonna be going over to Breauna soon. Like, are you gonna be like on the phone with her and stuff? I was like, yeah. And she was like, awesome. And like, man, this girl was so outgoing, man. Like, I don't even know the words to describe like how outgoing this chick was. Like, anyway, man, like, she was so outgoing, but like, so, like, you know, Breauna calls me. It was around like 3:50 something, I believe, 3:40, somewhere around there, like I said. And she's like, hey, how's it going? I was like, hi, just sitting here playing some games. I had a terrible day at school today, you know. And she was like, yeah. She was like, too bad you don't go to school, you know, back in the old town I used to live in. I was like, I said, yeah, I freaking wish, man. I was like, I wish I could, because, like, and I actually even looked into, bro, like, seeing if the school bus would, like, run to, like, because if it would pick up, like, any, like, other kids, like, near, like, the line where the two towns met, because, like, I would just walk out there if that's the case, bro, like, just to go back to school over there. Like, I would walk to this place, like, that would, if the bus would do it. And, like, well, come to find out, it was actually a little bit too far for me to walk that the bus came to. And so, like, that was a bummer, like, but I did look into it, because, like, I just really wanted to go back to school over there, because, like, that's where, like, all my, like, connections at the time was, and such. And it was like, you know, I was like, well, if I could go back to school there, I could just, like, hang around my girlfriend all the time, like, at lunch or whatever. And, you know, she kind of had the same idea. Well, I mean, she had the idea first, but, anyway, that failed, and so I was like, well, can't do that, sorry, they don't do it, they don't come this far. I mean, it wasn't that far, like, the town was just 15 minutes away, but, like, it actually, they came to where, like, the border of the two, like, towns met, so to say, and like I said, that was a bit too far for me to walk out there, because I would have to get up at like 6 something in the morning, bro, if I was gonna make that. And like, obviously I couldn't do that, because like, I didn't go to bed till like freaking 2 or 3 a.m., bro, a lot of the times, because like, I've always been a night owl, man. That's just really who I've always been. But anyway, so, you know, we're sitting there chatting it up and whatnot and stuff, and you know, this friend of hers, she's like, hey, she's like, she texts me while I'm on the phone. with, like, on speakerphone with Breauna, and, you know, them two are, like, in the same room, obviously, and she, she messaged me. She's like, "Hey, I need to tell you something." I was like, "Yeah." You know, I texted her back, you know, as I was talking. And then, like, this Breauna was like, "Who you over there texting?" And then she was like, "Oh, it's nobody." You know, I would hear her have this conversation with Breauna, right? Like, I don't think this Miranda wanted Breauna to know that she was texting me at the time while I was on the phone with Breauna, obviously, which I guess that does make sense. Anyway, so I'm sitting here, you know, talking and whatnot to him. I'm listening to him, you know, kind of bicker back and forth. And this Breauna, like, calls her friend, like, the B word, and it's like, okay, fine, you know what, you don't tell me, yeah. So I was like, you know, I was like, dang, why is she getting so, like, defensive? And anyway, so this Miranda, she's like, hey, I need to tell you, Breauna's talking to other dudes. And I messaged her back, I was like, how do you know that? And she's like, bro, she's like, I come over here all the time. She said one time she left her phone and she saw, like, something or whatever, and she says, yeah, she's like, she's kind of messing around on you, man. And I was like, can you prove that to me? Like, I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm just saying, like, I mean, because I've had this thing happen to me almost I've had it happen every time, you know, when I've dated someone. And she was like, actually, yes, I can prove it. And so I was like, okay, how are you going to do that? She said, just listen. I was like, okay, what am I listening to? She said, I'm going to bring it up momentarily while you're on speakerphone. And I was like, I don't know if you should do that. And she was like, no, she's like, I'm going to. And she was like, well, she can just get over it. And so this girl, she was like, hey, have you heard from, I can't remember this guy's name. It was some guy, I don't remember the guy's name, but she's like, hey, have you heard from so-and-so? And this Breauna, like, goes quiet. She goes, who? And this Miranda's like, you know, so-and-so. And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, I kind of spoke up. I was like, wait a minute. Actually, you know, to be honest with you, now I am wondering because, you know, you're kind of acting kind of defensive and kind of secretive a little bit. And she was like, oh, come on, don't be acting that way. She's like, don't be that way. And I was like, no, I'm serious, man. Like, I was actually laying on the trampoline at the time this was happening. And, so this was just like all going down, right? Like, I mean, it was going down, man. And like, them two started really arguing, man. Like, I mean, it was bad. Like, because she told me that they argued about something before, like, but she didn't tell me what, right? And so this Miranda came out and told me that something about that she was arguing because she was playing like multiple guys at like once or something that this Breauna was. And, you know, I was like, hey, you know, is that true? Because I'm done if that's the case. And she's like, no. She's like, it's not. And I'm sitting here texting this Miranda. I'm like, you know, can you provide me with like some messages or something? Oh, bro, yeah, she did. She provided them, man. She provided the proof. And like, yeah, man, I mean, I was so mad, dude. I was actually crying in anger on the phone, bro. Like, and like, I was sitting up on the trampoline, just laying down, talking to these two, right? And, you know, I was just kind of like cuddling my cat, because he would get up there with me. You know, he'd want up there with me when I was out there on it. And he was a good cat. You know, I really miss him. But anyway, like, man, dude, like, I honestly was not expecting the way that this went down. But so, like, my cat at the time, before he passed, he was the type, like, he wanted to. Sorry, I'm checking something on my phone. He wanted to like be around me a lot. He was very he was a very clingy cat, so to say. And, you know, I never really had a problem with it. You know, he was kind of really a comfort animal to me, and to be honest, I still miss him. But this cat honestly knew when I was upset, right? Like, this cat knew if I was upset. And not only that, man, like, this cat, like, he literally sat there and hung up, dude. Like, because he would paw, like, my face, like, if I would cry. Like, he would, like, paw my face and stuff. And whatnot, but he could tell, like, something, like, what was upsetting me, he could tell was, like, something on the phone. Like, I don't know, like, he literally started pawing at the phone, and he hung up on her, bro. Like, his paw hit the hung up button. And, oh, man, dude, she called me back. She was pissed. She said, how dare you hang up on me? Like, she was mad as hell, dude. And I was like, I didn't hang up on you. I said, my cat did. And she's like, you expect me to believe that? I was like, actually, yeah, I do, because I can actually prove it, because my cat is actually right here. And she was like, well, why do you have the cat when we're sitting here talking about this anyway? I was like, I just do. And, you know, she was like, she still denied it, but, like, this one girl, like, I got proof that she was. Apparently, like, it was Facebook messages and stuff, and I broke up with this. I broke up with this woman immediately. I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. You can go play that game elsewhere. And this girl still today has many Facebook accounts. So I guess she is still doing the same thing she was doing as a teenager, I guess. Um, like, I don't think she's matured any, so to say. That's what I will say. And, you know, I was so mad at myself. I thought to myself, man, I don't even know why I wasted such time having a crush on this girl because it was honestly pointless, man. Like, dude, I was just so mad at myself. But, yeah, anyway, I broke up with this girl and, she tried to add me back one time, and I didn't add her, obviously, and then I blocked her, and that was the end of that. So that's pretty much all I have to say about the Breauna thing. So I don't really have anything else to say about it. Now, I'm going to talk about Katherine before I talk about this next one. Now, I dated this girl. Now, this one was honestly a very good woman. This was the only woman that I know without a shadow of a doubt did not cheat on me. I know 100% she didn't. She was a very good, loyal woman. I've talked a little bit about her before on my stream. Anyways, this girl Katherine, she was emo. I had a group of people that I used to hang with, a group of girls. You know, we'd hit it up on Facebook and stuff like that. And, you know, this girl I used to talk to that I used to have a crush on, like her name was like Ashley, right? Not the Ashley that I spoke about, but this is a different Ashley. And she, you know, I was talking to her and she's like, hey, she's like, I got good news for you. I was like, yeah, what's up? And she was like, I talked to some of my friends about what you said, and I have the perfect woman for you. I was like, oh yeah? You know, because like I didn't believe it, obviously. I was like, look, I know you like to play pranks, you like to joke and whatnot. I was like, I don't believe you. And she was like, no, she's like, I swear, I'm not joking. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. So who is it then? She was like, go and add this girl on Facebook. She sent me a picture of this girl, and honestly, at the time, like, I'll be legit, this was like the hottest woman I've ever seen. Like, I can't stress that enough, right? Like, I'm talking about, like, American woman, by the way. I'm not talking about, like, someone from Asia, obviously. But this girl, man, dude, I honestly think about this girl quite frequently. And, you know, because I don't know, man. There's things I wonder. But anyway, this story does have a bad ending, but, you know, I really do hope that she's doing very well. I really, really do. Anyway, so at the time, I was an atheist when I was dating this girl. And, you know, this group of girls that I hung out with were, like, Christian and stuff. And so I was like, oh, okay, you know, doesn't really bother me. So this girl was a Christian that she sent me a picture of. She said her name was Katherine. And she was like, just treat her right. She was like, she's a good friend of mine. I was like, that's it? Just treat her right? You're not going to tell me anything about her? She was like, well, she's like, I kind of want her to tell you about herself. She just said, just trust me. I was like, I was like, okay, I was like, I just know I'm gonna regret this, man. Because like, we would like play pranks and stuff on each other all the time, and just all kinds of stuff like that, and when we would talk and stuff, and like, so I messaged this Katherine girl, right? And she's like, you're Luke, right? I'm like, yeah, I was like, Ashley told me to, like, message you, and she was like, yeah. She was like, she's like, how are you doing? I was like, not really all that great, but I don't guess it really matters. I was like, how are you doing? And we just really started talking and stuff, and, we started talking about, like, interests and stuff, and, this girl was also, like, emo, too, and, like, we was talking and stuff, and we liked a lot of the same stuff, man. Like, this girl was literally the female version of me. And, we set up, like, a time to meet, because, like, I was, like, 19, bro. And I didn't have, like, a parent that would take me anywhere, hardly. So, anyway, we met at the we would meet at the Walmart. We'd hang out and stuff, and I really enjoyed talking to this girl, and one of the reasons why is because throughout my life, out of people that I've talked to, I can honestly say she is one of the only ones that knew how to silence the demons. Like, I can't even really explain, like, I can't even explain that, man. Like, it was just, she just, I don't know, man, something about her just was like, was able to silence the demons, and it was just, it was nice, man. I'm not gonna lie, it was the nicest thing I've ever had, man. I felt hard for this girl, and like there was a section, like, I don't know if anybody who's ever been to a Walmart in America, like, you obviously know how the layout is, but this was back in the like 2010s, so. The layout's very different today, but, I mean, it's kind of similar in certain ways, but we went to the, music section, we was just holding hands talking, I mean, just talking it up, and, she told me, she's like, I really don't want us to go our own ways after this. I was like, what do you mean? She was like, she's like, I don't want you to go, like, as in go home. I was like, oh. I was like, yeah. I was like, I kind of don't want to either. And, we're hitting it up, we're just talking stuff, and then we just, like, get to the, like, the gardening section in Walmart, right? And, we're like behind like this section of like, so back then there was like this section of like, lawnmowers at the time, and like, there was also this section behind these lawnmowers, and it's like, there were other like gardening things that you could, purchase, all this stuff, and anyway, So we was just talking behind these, and that was where we like had our first kiss and stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, that is hands down one of the best kisses I've ever had. I won't lie. And I wasn't expecting this to happen, but like, I mean, we was just behind here, bro. We was just like making out behind the lawnmowers, right? Like, honestly, didn't even give a dang that there were like cameras, like in the Walmart. Like, we honestly didn't even really care, right? And I don't know, man. Like, that was a hell of a day, man. Like, I felt good, bro. Like, I didn't have no reason to think about, like, anything negative that day. Like, it was just such a good day. And, we stood there. We was back there, like, making out for, like, gosh, I don't know, maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes, dude. And, just kind of like doing that. And, we didn't like do anything like more intimate than that, so to say. But, like in the Walmart. But this girl, it was about time for me to go. And this girl, she just starts crying, bro. Like, she starts crying. And I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, I don't want you to go. And it was like, man, dude. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, dude. I was like, this is really making it hard for me because, bro, this girl was literally everything I wanted and more. Like, I can't, like, this girl was like not only everything I wanted, but dude, there was probably like 100 other bonus things that this girl had, right? That was just, she was perfect, man, for me. I can't stress that enough. And at the time, like I said, transportation was a problem for me, right? She wanted me to come over to her house. She wanted me to meet her mother. Her mother was Christian. She was Christian, like I said. And I was like, I was like, I get that you want me to come over. I was like, but if you don't mind me asking, I was like, why are you like crying about it? I told her, I said, I'm not trying to be rude. I said, I've never had this like happen. And I mean, we were both attached to each other, bro. Like, I mean, it was a mutual thing. And this is going to be the only good story in this video. Like, honestly, this is going to be the only good X story, honestly, that I will be even telling. So she called me up on the phone and she was just crying, bro. I was like, what's wrong? Why do you continue to cry? Like, because I was trying to help her, And she just, I mean, bro, this chick just breaks down. She starts talking about, I just want to cuddle you, I want us to lay down and watch anime and, just listen to music, talk about the future, maybe we could talk about, like, getting married. And, I mean, honestly, when she said that, bro, I was like, obviously I was, like, all in, right? I was like, how in the hell did I find a woman like this? I kept thinking that over and over, bro. Like, honestly, this girl, bro, she silenced the demons so much, dude. I was actually willing at the time to become a Christian for her. Like, at the time. And, you know, because she would talk to me about God. And, bro, I'm going to tell you this now. Everybody else that would try to talk to me about God, bro, I would be so mean to them, man, back in the day, man. Like, I can't even stress that enough, dude. Like, but with her, though, I wasn't. Like, I mean, I listened to everything she said with a very open mind. A lot of the things she did tell me really, really made sense. You know, so it was like, I was even, like, she even made me doubt my own atheism, bro. Like, she pretty much took my argument of atheism and literally destroyed it. And that was like the first time I had lost like a debate with someone, because like usually they would just end up getting mad or giving up, or either just tell me I'm going to hell or something, or like, oh, I need help or whatever, you know, right? But like with her though, she never did that, man. Like I don't know what it was about her. Like, she was definitely somebody that I saw light from in the world. And you know, she you know, we'd talked, we'd talked, and we went to bed because, see, she was still in school. I was 19, she was 17. And she was fixing to get out of school. And, you know, we had just talked the night before. And such a good conversation, too, man. Like, anyway, so... Man, this is where this story really goes downhill. So, I'm sitting there, like, waiting for her to get home from school, right? It's like, I was sitting there listening to some, gosh, dude, I can't even tell you what I was listening to. I was sitting there listening to, like, my metal music. I'm not really going to say the artist, but, and then, like, I remember I switched to, like, my anime music. Alright, like, and she calls me at 1:20, and I answered the phone. I was like, you know, at the time, because I would call her babe and stuff, I was like, babe, why are you calling at like 1:20? Ain't you supposed to be like in class right now? And she was dead silent. I mean, dead silent. And gosh, dude, I will never forget this. Like, I never will, man. Like, I felt so bad, dude, when I heard this. Like, she told me, she got on there, I mean, she just broke down, man. Like, I mean, just hardcore breaking down. And, like, she was breaking down so bad, like, I couldn't even hear her speak. It was so bad. You know, and I thought she was going to have, like, a panic attack, right? And I was like, man, I can't get to her because I'm stuck in the worthless town that I'm in. And I talked real calmly to her like I always did, and she eventually started talking. She said she's like, do you think you could ever hate me? And I'm like, no. And I said, not unless you cheated on me. And she's like, well, no. She said, I'd never do that. She said, I just can't do this. And I was like, what do you mean? And she just started breaking down again. I mean, I could tell her tears were genuine, bro. Like, this girl, this woman was crying like she lost, like, someone, like a loved one to death, bro. Like, she was crying like someone passed away. Like, honestly, I really hate talking about this because it's very, very touching to me because I think about this girl all the time, wondering if she, you know, how she's doing, if she's doing good and stuff. But, like, she was telling me, she's like, I can't take it no more. She's like, I need to hold you. I need to do this, this, and this. And I mean, she was just naming off so much stuff, dude. Like, this girl was like, you know, kind of the possessive type, the clingy type, but in the good way, right? You know, she was... like I said, she was everything I loved and more, bro. Like, I mean, it was absurd of how just a perfect fit it was, bro. And, you know, she's like, I don't want to break up. She's like, I really don't. But she's like, I can't do it. She's like, she said, I was up all night last night. She said, I didn't sleep at all. She was like, I just laid in bed and cried. Like, wanting to, like, hold you and stuff. And, she's like, I just wish you could just, like, move in with me or something. And, like... at the time, you know, I was living with my parent who was being pretty toxic, right? And, you know, honestly, what I should have done, listen, I'll be honest with you. What I should have done is I should have said, you know what, I don't give a damn, I'm going to move in with her. Like, honestly, that's what I should have done. I'm not going to lie. But, my parent had a way of, like, manipulating me in a way. You know, would threaten certain things, obviously. And all this. So I was like, you know, I was just listening to this girl cry, bro. Like, I honestly, like, it made me start crying, dude, because, like, I hated to hear her cry, bro. Like, because I've heard her cry before, right? And, like, this girl was, like, in my opinion, she was the type, like, she was just too beautiful to cry in a way, if that makes sense. And, it just really shattered my heart, bro. Like, and I still have, you know, we took pictures, like, in Walmart, right? She was wearing, like, a bullet for my Valentine's shirt. And, I was wearing, like, a skillet shirt, right? At the time, you know, she was actually the one who introduced me to Bullet for My Valentine, which is like a screamo metalcore band, right? And you know, we would listen to them and stuff, but, like, you know, I remember when I got off the phone with her, dude. Like, I felt like, bro, like, I felt like ending it, man. Like, I'll be honest, man. It affected me so bad. But, like, gosh, honestly, just even talking about it's making my chest pound. But, like, that's where that story ends. But I still have the picture, one of the pictures I took with this this girl in Walmart, right? I have it in a photo album. I always keep that picture because it reminds me of a time to when I was at one of my happiest times in my life, to be honest. I mean, like, you know, and what I mean that I still think about her, not in like a wanting to be with her way, because like I'm married now, but kind of like in a way of like, you know, did she find a good, like a good Christian man, you know? And I think about that a lot. I really, really do, man. I can't stress that enough, man. Like, but anyway, that's where that story ends. So this last story, gosh, I don't even really want to tell this story, but I guess I'm gonna have to. So this next story is somebody that I went to school with back at my old school, like the one that I used to go with like Breauna and all that. So this girl, back a long time ago, back when I was, you know, about 14, 13 years old. At least she was genuine. Yeah, I mean, she was such a good woman. I mean, such a good woman. Like, honestly, honestly, she was like one of the best women I've ever met, dude. You know, she got me through a lot of stuff, dude. Like, I'm eternally grateful for her. Like, you know, I've even looked her up on Facebook to try to see if, you know, she finally did find the good man, but to no avail, I've not found her account. But anyway, so this other girl I'm going to talk about, this girl's name was Olivia, and gosh, dude. So like this girl, oh my gosh, dude. Back when I was like 13, 14, like I said, it's been a little while, but this girl was always bullied in school, right? Like this girl, she had a condition to where she would have like seizures in the middle of class, dude. And I'm talking about like, I'm talking about like some intense seizures, bro. Like, I mean, she would like pass out, she could vomit, the whole 9 yards, right? And like all these students, bro, would just make fun of her, dude. Like, I was the only one that did not do that in the certain class, right? And like, I remember one time she started like vomiting, right? And you know, they did like the little pencil shavings like on the floor kind of type of stuff they used to do. I don't know if they still do that in schools. I don't know. Probably, but I never really got how that worked, but or necessarily why they did that, but like, so, you know, a lot of these students would like make fun of her and crap, and you know, it was pretty brutal, honestly, like how they would make fun of her and stuff. Like, it was bad, man. But like, I would take up for this girl, 'cause you know, I didn't believe in that. obviously. I didn't believe in doing that to really anyone. I don't think anybody should be bullied no matter what, right? And anyway, so there was this time, like, I was like, she was like vomiting or whatever, and like the teacher was over there trying to help, and like I was the only one that would help her, dude. Nobody else would help this girl. They'd just sit there and laugh, dude. Like I remember this one time I was like holding her hair back or whatever, you know, to where she like didn't get vomit in her hair, obviously. And I remember there was like people, bro, the students were literally asking me, why in the heck are you helping her? And like they would actually get like kind of really just, how do I say this? Like really like mean, dude. Like the fact that I would help this woman. And so I would help her and stuff. You know, I'd take up for her. Hell, we even became friends after that. And she got taken out of school because like she was being bullied so bad. Bro said like the modern audience. I mean, the modern audience doesn't exist, so I mean, even though they say it does, but 1% maybe. But like they bullied this woman, this girl hard, man. Like honestly, like out of how I've been bullied, bro, it was honestly nothing compared to how she was bullied. Like, and mine was bad. But like anyway, this girl, she got like took out of school and stuff, right? And you know, I didn't see this girl for a long time. And like years later on down the road, I was in my 20s, my early 20s, and I seen her on Facebook, so I hit her up, messaged her. I was like, "Hey, how's it going? Been a long time no see." She remembered exactly who I was, and whatnot. So we like start talking and all this stuff, right? And whatnot, and you know, she's like, "Hey, you want to hang out or whatever?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I don't got no transportation, so I mean, I don't know how we're gonna do this." She's like, "Oh, I'll just come get you." So she was like, she drove or whatever. She come and got me, and we had like some pretty interesting conversations, to say the least. And you know, we talked about like a lot of people from school, times of school. She talked about the times like I helped her and stuff. Like she remembered all that, bro. I mean, all of it, right? And I was like, "You still remember all that?" I said, "Yeah, I mean, I remember a lot of that," but I was like, "You even told me some things I didn't even remember." Because like I got like all this depression and stuff, bro. It's like, she's like, "Yeah," and all this, and like, but yeah, like, me and this girl just started talking and stuff, and like, she told me, she said, "Yeah," she said, "I always had a crush on you and stuff. I just didn't figure you would want to be with someone like me, so I just didn't really say anything about it." I was like, "How long we talking?" And she was like, "Well, since school, since we've been friends and stuff." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So, I mean, I didn't have a crush on this girl, like, in school, per se, but this girl was clearly interested in me, man. Like, she was clearly interested. And I was like, you know, gosh, this is going to sound bad. I wasn't attracted to her, so to say. I wasn't, like, attracted to her at the time. And I told her, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to date. And she was like, why? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I've been through enough, really. You know, like, and she was like, well, she's like, you could stay here with me as much as you like. And I was like, it's like, okay, so her parents hated me because I was poor. See, her parents, see, she's poor, but her parents are not. Now, we actually had a theory that she was adopted, either that or her sister was adopted. We never really found out which was true, but anyway, like, we was just chilling one time. She's like, hey, you want to go swimming? I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. You know, because, like, I like, you know, I can't swim, per se, but I like getting in a pool that I can walk around in, you know, maybe just kind of relax, feel the water on my body, you know, maybe play, like, some pool games, you know, maybe like Marco Polo or something, right, so I was like, are you wanting to go to, like, the public pool or something? And she's like, no. She's like, I got a pool we can go to. And, like, so apparently her mom knew of, like, some person she knew or something. Rosa said that last story made me tear up. Yeah, yeah, I don't cry though. I'll be alright. Anyway, so, you know, so we go to this person's pool. Bro, this person, dude, that we went to, I kid you not. Bro, this was like one of the nicest homes I've ever seen in my entire life up to this point. Like, dude, this house had an entire basement. The kitchen was so big. Like, I remember just getting something to eat, bro. Like, you know, dude, it was amazing, this house was. The pool was great. I mean, like, not only that, bro, but there was like a pool table in the basement, bro. It was me, her sister, her sister's boyfriend, and one of his buddies. And we just played pool down there for a long time, right? And I think her sister stopped, like, I think her sister really didn't like me after the fact I beat her in pool. But that's neither here or there. But anyway, so we're just sitting here just chilling. And, you know, I go back home with her and stuff and all this. And Man, dude, I actually had fun. I had fun, and I thought it was great. And this girl, she kept wanting to like spend all this money on me, bro. Like she would buy me like CDs, video games, like all this stuff, dude, like stuff like that, and we would even go to like the movie rental place when that was still a thing. We'd rent movies and sit up late at night and watch them and stuff like that. And it's like I slowly but surely I started to kind of really like this girl. She was really down to earth, and I said, hey, I got a question. She was like, yeah. I was like, I've been hanging around you for a while, and I said, you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. But I was like, back when you had those seizures, I was like, I said, I'm sorry to have to point this out. It's just I kind of noticed you haven't had one of these in front of me, like since we've been hanging out all the time. She's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I should have told you. She said, I actually went through some sort of, it was a brain surgery she went through, and she said after that, her seizures stopped. And I was like, oh, that's great. I said, I'm really happy for you. She said, yeah, it's a lot better to manage now that I don't have to deal with that. And this girl actually also had autism. Too, by the way. So like, yeah, this girl grew on me. Well, so fast forward a little bit. The story is about to end. I'm gonna have to end this video soon. This girl, she started having a problem, like with wanting me to be there all the time, right? I didn't mind really, because I got away from my parents, so I definitely didn't mind. Well, fast forward to 2015, and my best friend that I had passed away in a car accident. Somebody I did go to school with at the same school that we went to and whatnot, and this affected me really bad, like really bad. Like I was constantly having panic attacks. I was constantly crying all the time. Constantly listening to a song, "See You Again" by Carrie Underwood. And I remember the night that it like happened. Fast forward a couple of nights. I went over to this girl's house. Like I just need a distraction. I need you to pick me up. She's like, yeah. She's like, I'll be there in a minute. And gosh, dude. Honestly, I will be honest. There were times I was mean to this girl. I like because of my grief. Like it wasn't intentional. I have actually since apologized to her for that. Anyway, so I would stay over there. Like I mean, I even like she even it's like, hey, do you want like a pet to kind of mess with while I'm like at work, because see, she used to work at Walmart, and like she would bring me home like food from there, or she would cook food. Um, we kind of ended up kind of like bickering back and forth over like a can of Pringles a lot of the time, uh, and stuff. But like, she took me to this pet place and bought me these neon fish. Like the neon fish I'm talking about, they can be different colors, like purple, yellow, pink, blue, green, red. Like I got like several of them, right? And because you couldn't have a cat or a dog in the apartments that she lived in, right? Which is, I've never wanted a dog. I'm always a cat person, but anyway, couldn't have a cat there. And I was like, yeah, that would probably be great, I guess. So we was like, we got those fish. I was like, yeah, maybe they'll give me something to kind of distract my mind with, because I don't have my cat anymore. He passed away. And I would when I was there, I would take care of these fish. And like, if I wasn't there though, these fish would not get fed. Like I'm not even joking. Like I would come home like for a bit, and then I would go back, and then like these fish, I'd see these fish are just like hanging on for dear life, bro. Like and I was like, did you feed the fish? She was like, no. I was like, why? You gotta feed the fish. I was like, if I'm not here to feed them, you gotta feed them. She was like, I don't know anything about fish. And I was like, so you mean to tell me you bought these fish for me, which wasn't cheap, bought a fish tank, all this food, all this fish equipment, which was over $300 put together. I think it was like close to $250 somewhere. All this stuff was, because the fish was like, gosh, $10, $15 a piece for these things, dude. These fish was not cheap, man. These fish were the expensive type of fish, right? Well, anyway, I told her, I was like, you gotta feed them when I'm gone. Bro, I come back the next day after I fed them. I come back, bro, and 2 of them is already floating in the tank, just dead, man. I mean, just dead. And I kind of got onto her about it because it really kind of peed me off. I was like, the least you could do is take care of these darn fish while I'm not here, right? And all that, and she kind of got, like, upset that I said that or whatever. And I was like, but it's true. You got to feed these things too. It can't just be me. I can't be here 24/7 to sit here and babysit these fish 24/7. You kind of got to put your weight in too. Bro, look, I kid you not, man. Every time I would come over, a new fish would be dead until they were all dead. And I told her, the last fish that died, I didn't even see it in the tank. I was like, where's the other fish? She's like, oh, it died. I flushed it down the toilet. I was like, what? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I flushed it down the toilet. I was like, so you mean to tell me you didn't feed them again? She was like, no. I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna go for a walk. I was like, you just do whatever. I was like, I'm going for a walk because I'm honestly pissed. So I go for a walk, right? I come back. She's got like this food on the stove, right? She's like, oh, I'm sorry about the fish. I'm like, well, yeah, I bet you are, because there's no fish left for me to freaking take care of now. Now I ain't got no damn distraction. You killed all my fish. And it's not that hard to feed fish. Yeah, I agree. But like, anyway, man. Anyway, y'all, like, all these fish were dead, and it's like, I kind of started noticing things about this girl that just really started really ticking me off. And whatnot. And so she, how do I say this? She was like, we could go get some more fish. I was like, no. I was like, no, we're not going and getting any more fish because you're just going to not feed them and flush them down the toilet. I said, there's no reason to go get any more fish. And she was like, well, I'll feed them this time. I was like, you're full of crap. You're not going to feed them. I was like, if you was going to feed them, you would have fed them any of those days that I was gone. And, anyway, man, yeah, dude, like, I had to I took the fish tank down, I cleaned it out, I did all of that. I was like, you can just sell this or something if you want now, because you've done ruined the whole thing. I'm gonna be honest. No, I don't even want any more fish at this point. Just sell it. I don't even care. And like, she was like, okay then. And she was like, want me to make you some more food? I was like, no. Because it was like dinner time. I was like, no. She was like, why not? I was like, I'm probably just going to eat ramen noodles, dude. Like, the good ramen, by the way. She was like, oh, yeah. She's like, I'll take you to Chinese. Let's go to Chinese. I was like, oh, good gosh. I was like, yep, I should not have said that. Should not have opened my mouth. Anyway, so this girl would start like, cause see, I didn't love this woman, like at the time or anything, at this current time. I mean, I didn't really fall in love with her, period, to be honest, but, anyway, she would start like really spending money, bro, like on me, dude. And you know, while it was cool because it gave me a distraction away from my grief of my best friend at the time, it gave me an amazing distraction, right? You know, I got fed up one day, man. Like, I was in the car, just listening to music. And then she just started saying, hey, do you want to order something on Amazon? And I was like, not really. She was like, come on. She's like, there's got to be something you want on there. And I was like, oh, good gosh. So I was like, I popped a CD in I had at the time. I used to listen to a girl named Tori Kelly. She had this song, it was called Expensive, on that CD. And I remember I just turned the volume all the way up, dude. As loud as that CD player speakers would go. And I was playing this song, and I had the window down, bro. I was just singing this song to the rooftops, bro. She turns it down, that's not something you really want to do with me, is turn my music down. That's a big no for me. I look at her like really, really firm, right? I'm like, now you know, I know dang well you did not just turn my music down. And she's like, is there something you want to tell me? I was like, no. And okay, so here's the thing. This girl dang well knew that I was writing this song to her, right? Because in the song it would say, know your money, don't buy love. Know your money, don't buy love, right? You know, it was almost like she was like kind of trying to buy my love, per se. And it just didn't work, man, because you can't buy that, dude. You can buy superficial love, but it's not genuine. But, anyways, like, it was just, dude, it was a mess, dude. Anyway, this girl ended up, like, cheating on me and whatnot because I was the kind of the type, I just kind of really just did not want to show, like, much affection with this girl. 'Cause, like, I was just, like, kind of just out of it, so to say, and whatnot, but, yeah, anyway, that's pretty much really all I can say. Well, actually, you know what, no, I'll tell you another thing, too. So, she had a, like a kid at the second time I met her, right? And the second time I was just hanging with her because I was lonely. I'll admit it. You know, I was like, you know, so we went out and eat and stuff, and so, like, I would just sit there. I wouldn't really, like, speak too much. And whatnot, and she could kind of tell that, really. And then, I mean, I went to Walmart one time, bought me a couple of shirts, and, like, I bought me this, like, Freddy Krueger shirt, right? And I was, like, it was around, like, October-ish, and I was, like, kind of out of it, you know, because, like, I was still thinking of my best friend, obviously, that passed away, and I remember there was just one time I was in the car, bro, like, I was just out of it, and she said something to me, and I look over there at her, and I remember I replied to her, and then I kind of just, like, zoned out for a minute, and, bro, kid you not, like, I saw, like, I like, it wasn't a shirt, what I saw, like, all I saw was, like, Freddy Krueger's face in the rear view mirror, like, on the side of the door. Oh my gosh, dude, like, I thought like, we almost crashed because of that, dude, like, I'm not even joking, because it honestly scared the heck out of me. Like, anyway, like, you know, I started developing really bad insomnia because of the trauma that I faced with losing her as a friend, and I got put on, like, a certain type of medicine that I still take to this day for it, by the way. Can't really sleep without it, but yeah, y'all, like, anyway, that's pretty much the end of the story, I guess, so to say. Or really the most important parts of it, really. I'm not gonna beat it in the head, but yeah, anyway, let me know if you guys like stories like this, because I could tell some pretty other wild stuff, man, too. But yeah, anyway, this video is actually pretty long, so like I said, I figured it would be. The next one will be pretty long too, so like I say, there's only one more part that I got to this, so anyway, so yeah, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, click the bell notification so that you do not miss a video. And I will see you all next time. God bless you all. Peace.